Good evening and welcome to LDR 620, a strategic plan presentation for Grand Canyon University. My name is Heather Carlisle and I am the supervisor in the operating room at Baylor Scott & White Carrollton in Texas. Tonight I will share with you a strategic plan to save our OR nurses. There is a projected shortfall of more than 1 million nurses by the year 2022. A strategic plan for the solution to the OR nurse shortage is both imperative and urgent. A SWOT analysis of Baylor Scott & White Carrollton was done. It demonstrated our strengths as being a trusted leader in healthcare known for innovation and forward thinking. Expert nurses are currently working in OR positions with expert, enthusiastic leadership in place. We have a good reputation as a safe place to give and receive care. Our weaknesses are that we lack young nurses in the operating room. There is competition for nurses from nearby hospitals, and many of our nurses are currently nearing retirement age within the next 5 to 10 years. The remuneration is a little less at this facility than neighboring hospitals, and we do have a high requirement for on-call. The opportunities. We are part of a large and respected system with expert mentors available to train interns. Baylor Scott & White experience is desirable on a resume. The current OR leadership share a vision to strengthen the OR team. The certified scrub technologists have an opportunity as they are permitted now to bridge to registered nurse under a new Texas law. The threats. The local universities do not expose student nurses to the operating room during clinical rotations. We are also in competition with 5 other major healthcare providers within a 5-mile radius. Retiring nurses will retire within 5 to 10 years, making this implementation urgent. A national nurse shortage also makes acquiring nurses, both experienced and inexperienced, extremely difficult. Our strategic goal. We are going to increase the number of graduate nurses trained as OR nurses. We need to replace the retiring operating room nurses before they leave. We need to have the experienced nurses train these new graduate nurses and encourage knowledge sharing not only between the experienced nurses with the new grads but also the local College of Nursing campuses. Based on the goal, the SWOT analysis would require review every quarter. Our stakeholders. This would include patients and their families as well as the community at large, surgeons and anesthesiologists who work with us in the operating room, the nurses and scrub technicians who are hired by Baylor Carrollton, the hospital administration, the Surgical Services Council and affiliated universities. The action plan, the internal processes. We are going to recruit and train 12 nurses. We need to reinitiate the dormant internship program, and we need to encourage shadowing of experienced nurses by novice nurses so that they understand what the operating room nurse job entails. We'll also use the perioperative 101 education program, which is tried and tested in many operating rooms throughout the world. Financial processes. It's expensive to train a nurse for the operating room, between $30,000 to $50,000 for every nurse. For this reason, mentors have to be carefully selected, as there is a higher rate of turnover of internships in the operating room due to the stresses of the environment. For this reason, there should be special compensation for successful mentors so that those who have a heart to do so will take on this function. Our customers. Trust is imperative between the community and the hospital. The patients must be assured of safe passage even through the OR, even when we are training. Surgeons' requirements have to be met, and the Baylor Scott & White community commitment has to be honored at all times. The leadership. The leadership must be morally grounded and transparent. The organizational processes. Nurses should attend career fairs at local and middle schools in order to spread the word about operating room nursing. Student nurses should have more exposure to OR during their clinical rotation, with at least 1 day during their rotation dedicated to the operating room. Team collaboration. Open and honest communication is imperative. There are multiple stakeholders requiring multiple means and levels of communication. The communication plan should be carefully planned. The channels, the audience, goals, objectives, and leadership skills have to be highlighted and taken seriously. The evaluation of the strategic plan. There are 4 metrics that will be measured. The first metric is hiring of novice nurses for internship positions. The goal is to hire 3 per year with a total of 12 nurses trained at the end of a 2-year period. The second metric is training. The goal is 100% pass rate. The third metric is nurse retention. We require 100% first-year retention and 80% second-year retention. The fourth metric is student nurses choosing OR as a career choice, and the goal on this is 10 applicants per year. Do you have any questions? Please feel free to email me if you do. The reference list follows. Thank you for your attention and good evening.